highly motivated, really together group. We're excited for this group from a talent perspective. I might be more excited about them from a leadership and a team perspective. It's a really great group of guys, and we could say that every year and be truthful. I think this year stands out because we have guys from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life. They came here from different places, different times, different circumstances, and that is really allowing them to come together in a special way. So I'm excited to be part of this group and to see what unfolds as they've been working. Momentum is only a thing if you learn from your past. So I don't know that there's just an inevitable next step. I think we have to earn what we're going to get, and it's going to be harder than it's been in the past. That being said, I do know that this group of guys who are older, who are experienced, they have learned what it takes, and they've been different. And I believe in this group in terms of, their hunger and their passion and how that's turning into real world action, both in how they prepare, how they play. So I think, their past experiences, their successes, their failures, which both are difficult to deal with at times, I think those are going to really lend them to having a successful season. We've got a really good group of athletes. I think the experience factor helps when knowing how they're going to be approached by pitchers. I think our guys complement each other well in terms of what they do, how they want to play, what each of their games kind of is suited towards. Those tend to work off of each other if we can get it right. And we're deep. I think one of the things, if you look at teams that I've coached, is we like to play a lot of guys. We like to move guys around the field a little bit. Versatility, athleticism are important parts of our program, and we have that. So I'm excited to be working with this group who everything we throw at them, they handle. They ask for more. I think offensively, especially, we've got a chance to be pretty special, but it doesn't limit there. I mean, you got to play defense to win. You got to pitch to win. If you're just a great offensive team, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to be really disappointed. And I think we're going to be good in all three phases. Our catchers is a talented group. I mean, it starts with Jack, obviously. He's one of the best athletes that's ever been in our program, and he's going to play games in center field. He's going to play games in the infield. He's going to catch. He's going to kind of do it all. The reason we can move him is because we have talented players that are at that position with him. James Powers, a graduate student, has been a catcher his whole life. He's going to catch, play some infield. And then we've got some younger guys. Sean Donahue got some time last year. Carson Walker, both those guys are people would kill to have those guys starting for them. And so we feel really good about that position group. Those guys are, moving a little bit as well, just because sometimes we're going to need to get their bats in the lineup, things like that. So it's a really good group of guys. They get along very well. They work their tails off because we got a lot of pitchers and they got to catch them all. But those guys have really stood out so far. First base, we've got another kid. We only have a few transfers that came in this year. One of them's at first base. A kid named Dane Camphausen, who is in his fifth year of college, not here, first year here with us. Big kid, can really swing the bat and can really defend. He's been a big bright spot from a leadership perspective as well. Him, Tim Demetris at first base, who's had some experience, is a very good athlete. Thomas Downs might see some time over there as well, as he's swinging the bat pretty well. And then across the other side, Zach Carinzi's back, dealing with a little bit of an injury, but he'll be fine. James Powers will see time there. Caden Moore is in the mix. Franco Alonso's in the mix over there. We've got a really strong group of guys, and this is why we put an emphasis on versatility, because we want to keep our hot bats in. We want to make sure if somebody goes down with injury, we've got another guy that's ready to take his place. Besides back at second, he's an improved player. He's really grown up in a lot of ways since when he got here, a year and a half ago, and it's starting to really show. I mean, he can swing the bat, he can play defense. He's doing things right. We have Franco, who's here from Cornell, who's competing for spots. We have a couple of really talented freshmen. Tyler Stilson from North Carolina, Nate Arterburn from Texas, and those guys are really good players. They're going to see time for sure. And then there's guys, Price, an experienced kid who can play pretty much anywhere and has the best attitude. I mean, it's a fun group. It's a really good group. They work very well together, and excited about them. The outfield's a fun group. They can really go get the baseball. They run their tails off in practice. Coach Rogers working them like crazy, and if you need a fly ball caught in a gym, they're your guys. Luckily, they're also really good at it out on the field. So, obviously in right, Nick Harms is going to see a lot of time out in right field. He's an impact player offensively and defensively. Matt Trout is going to see a lot of time in center field. He always looks like he's in slow motion, and then every ball he gets to, it's wild. And Logan Andreyko is probably the most improved guy that we've had going from last spring to now. He's really blossomed. That kid works super hard. It's really important to him. I'm excited for Logan and for the season that's in front of him. Jay Smith's another one who's had a lot of success and a talented kid, and he's going to be in the mix. I don't know where. We're going to find a place for him because he can really help us. Connor Stevenson, same thing. He's kind of like in an emergency, we break the glass and we break out Connor, and he comes in and gets 2 hits for us. So, and then we have another young guy, Tommy Moonen from Atlanta, who made the team this fall. And it's just a super kid, and every single day we watch him, he's better than he was the day before. So we're excited for that group for sure. Those guys really get after it, and we ask a lot of them, and they always answer. The starting rotation, I mean, it starts at the top with Reese. Reese is really experienced and really good. He's beaten some unbelievably good teams in his career and is really hungry for more. He's been a leader. He continues to do so. I think he's excited for his senior year, and the guys are responding to how he's leading us. And then we've got a lot of talent. I mean, really we do, with Kyle Girding and Archer Stankowski, Austin McGowan, Patrick O'Connor. I mean, guys that are coming back that have experience, that are ready to either take a next step or continue building on what they've been doing. It's an exciting group. And then, we add some young guys who are very talented in the freshman class, also some sophomores that haven't had a ton, and a guy like Jackson Brewer, who's had a lot of experience, who's had a lot of success. Kind of every day he comes, Coach, I'll do anything. What do you want me to do? I mean, just a super kid, super attitude and he's another one. He just keeps getting better. So we feel really good about that group. Inexperience can be something that makes coaches nervous. It honestly makes me excited. As I see what those guys do every day, how much better they're getting. Their learning curve is so steep and they're so competitive that I think it's going to be a big plus for us. Tyler Horvath's the first option pretty much anytime we're trying to finish a game. But there's a lot of guys that are good enough to close games on this team. And you're going to see guys this year that start games and then they also close games. That's just going to be how it works depending on who we're playing and where they're at and all that stuff. But with Tyler leading the group and like I said, Austin McGowan is in that group. Jack Anderson's going to see time on the mound. Nick Harms, Franco Alonso. There's a lot of guys who are very talented on the mound who, Quinn Saunders, Tyler Stilson. I don't know if anybody throws the ball harder than those two guys as freshmen, and they typically know where it's going. And so they're going to find themselves in there quite often. So it's an exciting group, really exciting group of guys. We try to schedule as difficult a schedule as we can. We're restricted sometimes by who's available, and that's fine. But it starts with the league. I mean, our league is really good with all the teams are our challenge, and especially now adding Chicago into the mix, it's just better. It just keeps getting better, and it's a great experience our guys have to play in the league. Outside of it, it's hard to pick out. I think our opening weekend is going to be really strong. 3 very good teams with Ithaca, W&J, Mount Union, and then we play the College of Worcester in a 3-game set. And then spring break, our spring break trip, we tried to find the best teams to come to South Carolina that we could find, and did a really good job with it. And then even beyond that, there's teams we haven't played so much before, and we're excited for that. But I think the schedule, it's an important part of what we do. We want to challenge ourselves every opportunity we have, and I think our guys are going to be ready for it. The few things that come to mind are we need to stay healthy. We need to stay together. Everybody's excited when they're getting to the beginning of the season because you've been inter-squad scrimmaging, and it's easy to support your teammates when you're on the field going against them. It can get harder as your role diminishes or it isn't necessarily what you wanted it to be, or you're competing with somebody, and it can be very difficult. And I think this group is uniquely constructed just because of who they are, that they want to win at any cost. And if that means supporting a teammate when they're not out there, that's what it means. And so, the cohesion that this group seems to have, if that can continue to grow, our success is going to be, a lot greater than it could be.